video will instruct you how to create a large cosmos flower using printed or pattern paper and a solid background. So you'll cut all the petals according to the instruction document listed at the beginning of this video, or available on my Facebook page in the 2022 photo album Crafting Happy Hour instructions. So using craft glue, you'll add glue to the back of the pattern paper and adhere it to the solid paper. I do like to use a brayer roller to make sure the glue adheres the whole petal. So again, you're just going to use your craft glue. I like to use Bearly Arts. I like to go around the entire edge and then kind of just fill in. I go back and forth. Place the petal evenly on the solid background so it's even all the way around the edge. And then I go over it with a roller. You're going to do this for all 18 petals. To make the pattern paper stand out a little bit more, I'm going to outline the pattern paper with a black Sharpie marker. You can use any marker, and of course this step is optional, so I just go around the entire edge of the pattern paper. So you can see how it stands out. So I'm going to continue to do this to all of the petals. Now we're ready to style the petals, so we're going to roll both sides of the petals under with a 3/8 inch dowel rod. So I like to flip it over and then roll it under from either side. And I'm only doing one petal at a time because I have two pieces of paper glued together. So you're going to continue to do this for all 18 petals. Now using a pencil and ruler, we're going to make our marks on our hexagon base of where we're going to place each of our layers of petals. So this makes it easier when we're creating the flower to just glue the petal right at the pencil mark. So for layer 1, you're going to make a mark on each side at 1 1/4 inches in on the base. And then you'll make another pencil mark at a 1/2 inch on the base in from your 1 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4 and then a 1/2 inch. And you're going to go around each side making 1 1/4 and then another 1/2 inch. 1 1/4 and then a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going around on each side and making those pencil marks. Our next step is to take our petals and cut up the center. So for layer 1, we're going to cut up the center 2 1/2 inches. So turn the petal over to the solid side, measure 2 1/2 inches and make a pencil mark. And I'm doing 2 petals at a time since we glued the petals together. So 2 1/2 inches, and then I use my scissors to cut up to that pencil mark. Try and keep it lined up as best as you can. And then we're going to finish the next 4 petals, cutting them up to 2 1/2 inches. Now I'm going to glue the petals together, so put a line of glue on the left side of the petal where we cut it. Lift the right side up and over, and press to make sure the glue's adhered together. So again, take your petal, separate it with your finger, do a line of glue, lift up and over and adhere. Again, your small line of glue, lift up and over, so the right side is being lifted over to the left. Lift up and over and adhere. So that's going to lift your petals up. And your last petal of layer 1, add your glue, lift up and over, and press to make sure the 2 sides are adhered together. Okay, layer 2 now. We're going to take 2 petals, stack them, flip it over, and now we're going to measure 2 inches. Make your pencil mark. And cut up the center of the petal to your pencil mark at 2 inches. Take the next 2 of layer 2. Cut up the center, and then again the last 2. And this is layer number 2 is cut at 2 inches. And now we're going to glue the two sides together. So put glue on the left side and then lift your petal up and over and in here. So press it down to make sure they're adhered together. Keep that in a separate stack. And finish the rest of the petals gluing them for layer 2. And now we're ready to cut up the center of layer 3. Layer 3 will be cut just 1 inch up the center. So measure 1 inch. So you can see I was trying to figure out how far I wanted to cut up the center. And I went with 1 inch. So 1 inch, make your pencil mark. And cut up the center. Once you have made your pencil marks of 1 inch and cut up the center, you're going to adhere the petals together. So glue the petals, as we did on the previous 2 layers. Now we're ready to assemble it. So simply add some glue on the bottom edge of your petal and then line it up in the edge of the hexagon and bring it into your pencil mark and press. Rotate it to the left or counterclockwise. Add glue to the bottom of your next petal of layer 1. And layer 1 is glued 1 1/4 inches in on the base, so we have those pencil marks all ready to go. Rotate to the left or counterclockwise. Add some glue. So I add about 3/4 of an inch of glue on the bottom. And press. Rotate to the left or counterclockwise. Add your hot glue, center it on that edge of the hexagon and bring it into your pencil mark. And press. Rotate to the left or counterclockwise. Add your glue, center it, and bring it into that pencil mark. So those pencil marks make it a lot easier for you just to quickly glue down your petal. And now layer 1 is complete, so rotate it slightly to the left, and now layer 2 is going to be glued evenly with layer 1 in between the petals of layer 1. So right in the middle of them, and the bottom edges will be lined up. Rotate it to the left or counterclockwise. Add your glue. Place it evenly at the bottom in between the petals of layer 1, and then rotate. Add your glue. Line it up on the bottom right in between the petals of layer 1. Add your glue. Place it right in between the petals and they should be lined up at the base. They will be standing up a little bit further than your layer 1 because we cut a little bit less up the center of our petals, so they're going to stand up a little bit more than our previous layer. press, and then our last petal. Add your glue, bring it right in, and press. Now you're going to rotate slightly to the left or counterclockwise. Now layer 1 and layer 3 are going to be lined up. Add glue. Line it up with layer 1 in between the petals of layer 2 up to your next pencil mark, which was a ½ inch in from our previous pencil mark. Rotate to the left or counterclockwise. Add your glue. Line it up with layer 1 in between the petals of layer 2 up to your pencil mark. Rotate to the left or counterclockwise. Again, lines up with layer 1 in between the petals of layer 2 up to your pencil mark. And we're going to continue this process for our last 3 petals. This is just a 3-layer petal, but oh so beautiful in the printed pattern paper. And these petals were only cut 1 inch up the center, so they're standing very tall. Again, line it up with layer 1 in between the petals of layer 2, and I did tuck it behind the first petal. For the center, I use Paper Flower Center Bundle number 2. I cut 3 pink at the medium size as noted on the instruction document, 1 in my polka dotted green print paper in the medium size, and 1 large one in the polka dotted. So for the 3 pink medium ones, I glued 2 of them evenly at the bottom. So I'm adding glue all the way across the bottom. So it'll be glued evenly across the bottom. And then I'm going to crease it, so I'm pressing down at the top. So for 2 of them, of the solid color, I chose to do multicolored center. So the pink is my background color on the paper flower. Glue it evenly at the bottom, all the way across, and then press down at the top. So we're creasing it. For the third pink center, we're going to add glue, and we're going to glue it off center, which means the center, the bottom does not line up, so you can see the loop it creates. And we're not going to crease the top, we want to have it a little bit puffy. Okay, now we're going to take the medium center that I cut in the printed polka dotted paper, and my outside color I want to be the green polka dot. I'm going to glue this one again off center like I did the third medium pink one. So you can see I'm about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge I start gluing. So I am using cardstock paper, scrapbooking paper, so it is a little bit thicker paper. And again, I'm not creasing the top. I want it to be puffy. Apologize, I went off camera. I was fixing the glue to make sure it's adhered all the way across. Gorilla Glue dries super fast. Okay, and now for the very last center part is a large one, cut according to the instruction document at the beginning of the video. Add glue, and this one we're also gluing off center, so it's going to make a spiral effect. And I want my green to be on the outside, my polka dots. So I chose a coordinating pattern to the pattern on my petals. Now it's time to assemble them. So I'm going to take one of my larger slotted quilling tools. I'm going to roll the center, roll it a few times. We're going to add some hot glue and keep rolling towards you. So we're starting with the two creased pink centers. So the center will be a lot more compact. Add glue at the end. I did have to add a little bit more to make sure it's attached. Then I take my second pink one, which we also creased at the top. I put a nice long line of hot glue, and we start it right where we finished our last center. So line it up, keep it even on the bottom, and roll it towards you. Keep rolling, and when you get to the edge, you want to add some more glue. Looks like my other one came apart. You have to be super fast. So now we're going to use the third pink one, which is the one we glued off center. So we're going to add some glue at the end, and we're going to start attaching it right where we ended. So it'll be lined up right along the bottom, and roll it. So it's going to start the spiral effect now. Keep it lined up and keep rolling. Try and keep that bottom lined up. So when I pulled it apart, it's because I wasn't lined up anymore. Sorry, I keep going off camera. Okay, now we're going to add our green, the smaller one, which is a medium size. Add some hot glue, and we're going to start right where we finished off the last raspberry pink one. And now we're starting the pattern paper. Roll it around. Okay, and now we're going to finish it off with our large center. So add your glue at the beginning of it. We're going to line it up just where we finished our last one. Oh my goodness, I keep going off camera. I apologize. I'm keeping the bottoms of the edge lined up, meaning where those petals, or I'm sorry, where those center and the base of the center meet. I'm keeping that lined up. I'm sorry, I keep going off camera. Add glue along the way for this large one since it's your last one. Have you tried using pattern paper for your center? Look how cute it is. So now you can just fluff out your center. So now I did add a circle in the center. I cut about a 3.5 inch just to cover up where the petals meet the base. Now if I did do this again, I would use a pink center instead of the white. And now we're just going to glue our center in there, and she fits in perfectly. So add a generous amount of glue to the back, making sure my edges are all glued down. So you can see the polka dots. How cute. And you can see that the medium size centers we use do not reach up to the top of the large one. And that's correct because you're lining up where the centers meet, not at the base. Hope that makes sense. I still add glue to the center there just in case. Flip her over and place her right in the center there. Make sure you press down, and then I'm fluffing it out just a little bit. How cute. Thanks for